Hello, my friends. Welcome. This is your happy Stanford lady helping the creative you shine through. Super excited to deck the halls with you here in December. Let's take a look at my Facebook page. If you go over here, you can be more interactive with me. I try to post fun things and hope to get you guys to interact with me as well. Thank you for those who have subscribed on YouTube. If you want to hop over to my Facebook, I would appreciate that as well. This is my demonstrator website. You can order on here at any time. And of course, you can always ask me, your happy Stanford lady, what I've used and how I can help you put orders together. This is a great time for Christmas presents too, you guys. Great stocking stuffers. I can put together great packages for you to make it super fun. So lots of fun opportunities. Hello, my friends. Magic Box. Still not quite up to par with the singing, so we won't quite go there. But I'm super excited. We're in the month of December. I have another 2 cards to show you today. One of them, we're going to make a gift card holder. Super fun. Slimline card. Don't know if you've done those before. They're new to me. I'm kind of seeing them pop up everywhere on Facebook. But for me, I decided I was going to give it a try. They're pretty fun. So I want to teach you that today too. Super fun. So let's pull out our magic box so we can kind of go over all of the great things we have prepared for today. Get all our little doodads out here. So we can go over all the fun things we're going to do today. Today the cards have a more of a vintage feel. Very cool. Magic box empty. Okay, so I am going to remind you once again, because now we're in the month of December, which means this catalog is done at the end of December. So anything that I'm using right now, I would love for you to get your hands on. If you're loving it, now is the time to do that. So many great things that we are using and having fun with. We're going to revisit this Wonder of the Season paper. If you caught my video last week with the vintage snow ladies, lots of you seem to really like that. We used the vintage, we used the Wonder of the Season, but we used the gold in the red sides. This time we're going to use the beautiful black and white side. Super exciting. We're going to revisit our vintage snow lady. I had to use her one more time. She's so lovely. But we're going to visit her with this Light Me Home that I had talked to you about. And this is one of the first things I saw in the catalog. So when I look at the catalog, sometimes I'll look and see, does something catch my eye? These two together caught my eye. So I wanted to play around with that today. Super exciting. So last month, for that catalog, if you have any questions and you want to put an order together, please get with me and I'll help you to do that. There are still time for Paper Pumpkin. paperpumpkin.com. Put me as your demonstrator. You have until the 10th of December and you will receive the kit this month, and it is teddy bears. What? I cannot wait to show you the out of the box for teddy bears. I'm super excited. And we don't know as demonstrators too. I will point that out to you. I don't know what they are. We just get a hint of like, here's what's coming. And then when it comes, then I show you some fun ideas out of the box. Super exciting. I also want to remind you, starting in January, new mini catalog coming. Super exciting. And here in the month of December, I'm going to start showing you toward the end of the month some of these things. I cannot show you the catalog until January, but I can show you things if I have been able to pre-order. Which reminds me, if you want to be able to pre-order, you want to be able to see things early, you want to get a 20% discount on everything you own, everything you buy, be a demonstrator. Join my Happy Stanford Lady team. Super fun. Celebration is also coming down the pike starting in January. So super exciting things to be looking forward to. Okay, feeling a little bit better. Not fabulous, but plugging along, my friends. Okay, so let's go over our measurements first, and then we're going to kind of bop back and forth between the two cards because I have a little dry time happening. So let's talk about our measurements. For the Slimline card, You start out at 9 inches this way, 7 inches this way, and you score at 3.5 for this longer card. Now, I do enjoy this card. Very cute. Excuse me. The look is very cute. I'm someone who likes a bang for my buck, so I can only get one card on a piece of a cardstock. Is a little rougher for me, so I was a little hesitant to start with this. Drink some hot tea, gingerbread cinnamon tea. So I am loving this, but I will tell you, you can only get one card out of a piece of cardstock. Just a caveat for you. Now, that is the card base. The front panel is 8 3/4 by 3 3/8. Okay? Pretty simple. And then for the inside, I'm using Misty Moonlight. You can use any color you want. I just wanted you to know what color I'm using. For the inside, 9 inches by 1.5 and 9 inches by 1. Okay, those are your panels. And then you have 2 pieces of DSP. This is the Wonder of the Season, but we're turning it on the black and white side. I love this like old-fashioned cursive writing. Beautiful. We have 6 3/4 by 1 1/4 and 6 3/4 by 3/4. Okay, those are all the measurements you need on your Slimline card. All right. Let's go over the measurements for the Old World fold. I've done this fold before. This isn't a new fold, but I do kind of love this fold. I always come back to it. I just think it's such a neat fold. So you originally start with 11 inches by 4 1/4, but you score twice on this one. You score at 5 inches here, and then up at the lip, you score at 3/4 inches because you want that little lip. That's what you're going for. Again, Misty Moonlight. So I kept my paper pretty much the same. Tried not to go out of the box with the paper. This is Sahara Sand, which we don't do as often. And I have already stamped because I don't want it to be super long, and I have some really cool effects to show you today. Okay, so we have the front panel piece at 4.5 by 4 inches. And then you have inside panels at 4 by 3, 4 by 2. Okay, those are your Sahara Sand panels. Then you're going to come back to the Wonder of the Season DSP, and you have a, I'm going to say it right, 4 by 2, 4 by 1 3/4, and 2 of them at 4 by 1/2 inch. Okay. So those are our panels that we're going to be working with. I always have my blocks. I have D and B blocks. And of course I have my Stamparatus already sitting out here, my handy dandy Stamparatus. The colors that we're going to be using are Night of Navy, Memento Black, and then also Highland Heather and Rococo Rose, which is different. We're going to do a really cool effect, a sky effect. I've not done this before. I've seen a couple people do it, but it's not been something that I have done before. You are going to have your scissors. I always have my snips. We're going to pull in the Wink of Stella today. Super exciting. And we're going to be using one of our sponge rollers today. Very exciting. I always have my bone folder, so I have nice crisp edges. And we're coming back with this chalk marker. So excited to show you the fun effects with the chalk marker. And then, of course, my glue. Okay, so those are the things that we had in the magic box. Now, I am just going to remind you of the paper Wonder of the Season. I had already showed it pretty much last week in there. You have a gold side, a black and white side, or you have a cherry cobbler side. The gold and the cherry cobbler, it's kind of hard to see. There's a shine, there's a shimmer, and then the black and white side. And it's really like old newsprint is what it's like. Super, super cool paper. And then I had already told you, but let's review and look at them together. See, that I saw it instantly. I was like, these two stamp sets belong together. So Light Me Home and Snow Wonder are the two stamp sets we're going to be playing around with today. I'm very, very excited to show you. So I'm going to start by stamping the Light Me Home. I've already stamped the Light Me Home on my Sahara stand. I will tell you that I used my Stamparatus for all this because I really wanted that detail. And so when we do it on the paper, on the white paper here, it's the same thing. I really want that detail, so I'm going to do it on the Stamparatus because I could stamp it more than one time, which I found I wanted to do. I found that for the detail that I wanted to do it more than one time. And then with the Snow Lady, the same thing goes. I probably stamped her maybe 3 times, and then the trees from the Snow Lady, the Snow Wonder set, same thing on that Sahara sand. I just wanted a really deep, rich look when I did it. Okay, so we'll need that. So we're going to go ahead and pull that out because we're going to talk about that. And we'll need that from this set too. Okay, the words I used are from the Light Me Home. With heartfelt wishes for a wonderful season, from our home to yours. Isn't that adorable? So, so cute. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is a long piece of paper, so I'm going to do the same thing that I've showed you before. I'm actually going to stamp it upside down. Now when I stamped this house, I wanted it at the very bottom of that piece of paper. I wanted it to line up right on the bottom of that piece of paper. So I'm going to pick it up with my Stamparatus, with my plate. This does not have the black pad under it because these are cling stamps. Always good to know, always good to remember. Okay, and we're gonna do the Memento ink. Now one thing I did find, and I didn't realize, and it's fine, it works just fine, but I'm actually needing to do a little refill, and I'm out of my refill on my Memento. I don't think I have bought it this last time, or I think I might have given it to somebody else. And so I found that it was lighter than I wanted to be. Now see how the pathway, yeah, not quite there for me on the pathway. But again, this is the beauty of the Stamparatus. And I know you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but the Stamparatus really is your friend. And it really, I feel like, keeps you from being like, oh, well, that didn't work and I can't go refix it if I'm doing it by hand. Every now and then I can maybe eyeball it, but something like this, there's no way you would get that even and exactly where you wanted it to be. The bottom of the pathway is still not exactly what I want it to be, so I'm going to go back and do it again. There's no harm in it because you've got it on the plate, it's not moving. You've got your magnets holding your paper in place, and it's brilliant. Look at that. Now, do you see how that detail came out? I'm going to do the very bottom of the sidewalk one more time because I really want to get the detail all through the whole thing. Okay, super simple. I just love this Stamparatus, and I just want to help you to be able to do that too. Okay, so we are done with that. We're actually going to go ahead and clean that off because we're done with the house, because I already did the house for you. On the other one, it's already done. On purpose, because I don't want it to be crazy long. I know it can be chatty, and I love that you guys stay with me and enjoy the videos. So, and I want to show you all the fun techniques, but I also didn't want it to be like, oh, good gravy. She's really windy today. Okay, so there we go with the house. So we're done with that part of the house. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull these out because I know we're going to use those in a little bit. And then that kind of clears up some space for me over here. Okay, now I am actually, no, I thought I was done with the plate, but I'm not. We're going to do words here in a little bit. Now, here's what we're going to do. I do need to move the magnets out of the way so we have space. And I'm going to move the plate. I will use the plate again. I'm going to move it for the moment, just space-wise, so that you can see everything that I'm doing. So what I did was then I stamped the house. This is masking. I did show this, I think, back in October. So this isn't a new idea, but the sky is new and masking is needed for that. So I stamped the whole house scene that you see here and on super thin paper. That is very important. Otherwise you get too much of a raise and it makes it like too much of a line in between what you're doing. So I cut it out. That is more detail, but you could use this mask over and over again. So it's like a one-time dealio, and then you can use it over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to mask the house. See how it like covers the house. Then we're going to go ahead and open our 4 stamp pads. Okay, so if you remember, we've got Night of Navy, we've got Rococo Rose, which is what we're starting with. We're starting lightest to darkest, Highland Heather, and believe it or not, we're going to come in with that black as well. Now, one thing I want to point out, I love these little rollers, and that looks dirty. To know if it's not, you just roll it, and if you don't have color coming off of there, it's not going to pick up color. That's the brilliance of these little rollers. They just kind of, the color just goes off. So super, super exciting about that. So we're going to start with Rococo Rose, and you roll into your pad, okay, and then you're going to hold your piece down because I'm going to go all over. I'm going to roll at the bottom. I'm going to roll at the sides here. And I just keep going back. See how I keep going back into my ink? Okay, and I'm going to roll at the side here. I don't want to miss anything where the mask is not at, which is on the bottom and on the sides. Right, now here, I'm going to hold that down a little bit. Your finger may get dirty. You know me. I'm like, whatever. It's okay. If you're not dirty, you're not crafting. That's my thought. Okay, so you see how there's a coverage. Now, you can't see that very well. It's light. I want it to be light. I want it to be my base color. Now I'm going up all the way into the top just lightly, because what's going to happen is when you put other colors on top of it, they're going to pick up those colors as well. Okay, there we go. Rococo Rose done. Now I'm going to roll so I don't get anything, which I don't have anything on there. Now I'm going into Highland Heather. Same exact thing. I'm going to start to add color, and it will start to build. You will see it build on top of each other, and you think, well, why did you do the Rococo Rose if you're just going to go over with Highland Heather? Because the effect was different. I tried it with and without, and that Rococo Rose just gave it this trying to think, like a really like misty in the evening when twilight starts to hit look, which is what I was going for. And so it made a difference. It made a difference. And sometimes you find that like you do something and you're like, it just needs a little something. The Rococo Rose gave it the little something I needed to be that beautiful night sky. Now, I'm going to do this around the lamp. I think I'm almost done. And then we're going to go into our blue, and we may not need our matte anymore because our blue kind of goes up into a different place where the house is not. Now you see that I'm doing the Highland Heather up here too, because again, your colors are playing off top of one another. Now, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Is that not stunning already? That's just with your purple and your Rococo Rose, your Highland Heather and your Rococo Rose. Now, okay, so now we're done with those two. Now, I'm not going to put those away because we're going to use those colors inside to do a slight bit of stamping. So we'll put those to the side. Now, I want to clean that off again. Okay, there's a little bit of Highland Heather. I want to get that Highland Heather off of there. Now I'm going to come back one more time with the house here because I want to get a little bit of that Night of Navy in there. And I might come back with the Highland Heather a little bit more and do that. This sky, look at this beautiful sky that you're getting though. Isn't that stunning? And then you kind of find that you use that roller, you know, over and over, kind of do the rolling effect. Look at how beautiful. Look what you're getting. Now, I do indeed. So I'm going to make sure that comes off really well. I think I want a little bit more of that Highland Heather. That's the beauty. You can start with less, but if you start with less, if you start with too much, you can't fix that. Do you see what I'm saying? If you start with too much, you're like, oh, that's just too much, and you can't take that off. If you start with little, you can go back and add to that, and that is the brilliance of that. All I'm doing right now is just making sure I have that Night of Navy off of there. Okay, now we're going to come back in with the Highland Heather, and we just want to hit a little bit more. I'm going to keep that purple being prevalent in there, kind of coming around. So it's just me holding down. You're just holding down the fort around your house is all you're doing. But I kind of wanted to get a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more of that Highland Heather in that sky right there. Oh my gosh. Are you seeing that, you guys? Look how beautiful that is. I adore it. I adore it. Okay, so you're done with your mat because once we get up here to the top, you're fine. Look at that saturated, beautiful saturated color in there. We're creating our own night sky, which I don't know. This just really reminded me of like, oh, holy night. It came upon a midnight clear. Just something really, really beautiful about this whole thing. Okay, now I'm in my black over here. I was trying to get my black on there. And I know you think, oh, you're doing black at the top, but it really helped it. It wasn't too dark, like I was afraid that it would be too dark, but it actually kind of finishes off the skyline really well, I think. Kind of pulls it all together. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, and we're going to clean that off. Come back. So this is just a fun, just another way. I'm always trying to show you guys like ways to use your stamp pads, ways to use your supplies differently. Okay, I'm really happy with that. That's really, really pretty. Now, that's pretty saturated with color. So I'm just going to let that sit for a few minutes, and we're going to come over and visit our other card. Okay. So while we're doing that, well, you know what? We can do the inside of our card. So on the inside of our card that we have here, we have our strips. Now, I did this effect. I think I've shown you this effect too, but it's fun, and I kind of liked how it looked. I'm taking that Night of Navy. There you go. It's like so you can see it. And I'm taking my strips, and I'm literally just like taking them along a line down here, and it outlines your paper, but does it in a way that kind of keeps everything clean. I'm trying to see if you can see that. It just gives it a dark edge. You can see the edging. You'll see it better on the on this paper. So let's do our design paper, and you'll see it a little bit better. Our DSP. Yeah. See how there's the dark edge of the blue strip? I just like it. I think it just gives it just a nice, it's just extra. It's just a little extra that you can do. So I'm doing it on all the strips that I'm going to put inside. So this bigger strip is going to become a money holder. Super simple. So that's my gift idea because sometimes people like to do gift cards or cash. And so my gift idea this time is the Slimline card. I thought was really nice because the Slimline card you could slide cash straight into it, or a gift card. So I liked the idea of that. Okay, so there we go. Got those all edged. And you know what? I have one more to edge while I have it out for the other card. I'm going to edge this little guy just so that it's done so we can put those in there. Ta-da! Okay, so now let's go ahead and attach our pieces to the inside of our card. So I liked the money holder on this side. So when you do a money holder, the only thing you have to remember, this is very important, or it will not be a money holder, it'll just be a strip inside your card, is that you do the edge, and then the edge is going to sit down on the outer edge. So this edge here, and that's all you're doing. You have to be very careful with your glue because you want to leave a spot once it's dry, obviously, that your money can go in or your gift card. So then we're just going to sit it down, edge to edge. Very nice. I'm going to move this for just a minute because it's harder to see. I do have to come back to that because, oh, and I got a little something on there, but we can fix that happy accident. I don't even know if you can see that very well. I'm actually going to use the thing and try to sort of clean my fingers because they're really messy. Okay, so I also want to put that pretty strip on there. I thought that looked really nice. This old newspaper look, I thought was really cool. I thought it was just a really different look. Okay, so there we go. We've got that laying down. This is where I love my bone folder because you just do it real nice and clean. Gets everything sitting nicely. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. Now, this side is just a strip. This is just a decorative strip. And so on this side, I'm trying to see if there's a better, darker part on that. On this side, you can do glue on the whole thing. Okay. And again, we're going to go edge to edge. This is just for design. I just thought it made the card look really nice inside. Edge to edge. And then you have another piece of the old newspaper that you have going on. Okay. Love it. Try to line up. I just like look at where the other piece was sitting. There we go. Just try to line it up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just try to line it up. Now, while we have it here, and we don't, before you put something on the front, it is nice. Now this is where I need my piece again, which is fine. No biggie. I should probably flip that over though. Oh, doesn't matter. They're both dirty. Okay, I'm gonna just do a couple of snowflakes. I didn't do a ton inside. I just did a few to kind of give it a nice, I don't know, just a nice little look. Wasn't crazy, didn't have to do a ton. And then I thought I would bring back in, now I didn't end up doing Rococo Rose because Rococo Rose was kind of like a cover up, but I thought the purple was very pretty inside too with the blue. So thought we could just do a few little snowflakes. I thought it made it look really nice inside. Very simple. Simple and elegant, right? Isn't that pretty? So your inside is done. I just left it for writing. Didn't put any saying inside. Now, of course, you're welcome to put a saying inside, but I did not do any saying inside. I just thought I would leave it like that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach this piece on the front. Going to use our glue, and I know it's white on white, but sometimes I kind of like that effect. Now realize that you could actually just do this straight on to this card if you wanted to, but I kind of liked just that little, sorry, excuse my hat, I was just trying to line it up properly. I liked just that little white edge showing. Okay, this is where, again, I like taking my bone folder and getting it all nice and crisp. Look at that. See, I like that white edge. I think that white edge kind of gives it a little something. Now, we do have words to stamp on the front. However, I want it to dry for a minute. So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. This is my way that I use Wink of Stella. Kind of squeeze it, and I like getting like a pile, and I am randomly going along here. We're making a glittery night sky. I love, 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 love it. So there can never be too much glitter. You know, that's my rule of thumb. Never too much glitter. And then what I found that I loved, so I took that glitter and then I covered the rooftop with the glitter. Okay. Now, you don't have to do any of this. Realize this is just all extra. And then I went to town on this big tree. I wanted it to be completely glittery. Thought it just gave it like a little extra pop. I liked that. Super fun. And when I'll move it, you'll see it better. Sometimes it's hard. I got to get the right angle for you. So all I'm doing is kind of following the angle of the snow. Do you see what I mean? Like I'm like there's the driveway, following the angle of the snow, just trying to give it a little bit of pop and glitter all along the snowbank. Underneath that little bench is a good place, and then in the sidewalk, did a little on the front of the house. It's wherever you want it. You know me, I'm like, I'm pretty sure there should be glitter everywhere. So I like the line of trees having the glitter. I thought that looked nice. Give it a little glitter around the light post pieces, and then in the light post it needed glitter, and I liked glitter on my wreath. Actually, I thought that was nice. So a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try. I know, I see, you can see the night sky there. Can you see the glitter on the tree? It's really subtle, but so beautiful. I was really, really beautiful. I was really pleased with how it turned out. Okay, so I actually want that to kind of dry for a minute before we go to our next phase of it. So we're going to put that to the side, and we're going to come and put our other card together. So our Old World card, I liked the house on the front, so that's what I called my front panel. Okay, and you go look at the measurements up there on the front panel. So this can apply to anything. Okay, so you can do this fold, and then you could put whatever you wanted on the card as long as you had the measurements. Do you see what I mean? So it makes it super, super nice. Okay, look how nice that is already. Now, this one had a really cool, I think, like an old world vintage. And then we're going to do something even more magical with that chalk marker. I just was so impressed with that chalk marker. Okay, so then look at you've got your old words on there. Isn't that really pretty? Really like it. So that's one of your small 4.5 inch strip, 4 inches by a half inch. Same thing on the top of the flap inside. You're going to do the same thing. Okay. And I am not going to color the whole thing in. I'm going to show you it all colored in because it has to dry in stages. I found that when I did my chalk marker, I did it once, I let it dry, and then I'd go back and do it. Otherwise, it starts to rip your paper. So you have to kind of be careful about that. But if you gave it a little bit of dry time, I found that it was fine. So just a little advice for you on there. And then we're going to do a piece of the old paper there. Isn't that coming together? It's so cute. And more clean and basic, which isn't not always what I go for. Sometimes I like all of these decorations and all these designs, but this one just really spoke to me, just really simple, and it just felt vintage, like old fashioned, which I love as well. Okay, so then this piece here is the DSP strip is the 4 by 1 3/4. The bigger piece goes at the bottom. That's how I did it. You could do it any way you want to. Like once you get your strips cut, you could decide any way you wanted to. And realize that this card can go sideways too. So you could do your designs differently so that it opens sideways. Like it opens like this way. But I wanted it up and down. I liked it up and down on this one. Okay, one more set of the words. And then I'm going to show you the magical, the added kind of piece de resistance that like made it go, what? Okay, so you take your chalk marker and you are going to color where you see snow. So I'm not coloring the black part, I'm coloring like the open part. And you don't have to push really hard. The color comes on. And like I said, I colored and then I went back and colored again. Like I let it dry and then I went back and colored again. And so I'm just showing you the idea of the coloring, like the clear parts. Okay. And that's what you're doing. You're coloring with your chalk marker and you're coloring in your different pieces that you want to be colored like this, like snowy white. That's what it's going to be. Now I know it doesn't look like much to start with, so I want to show you dried and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so I want to show you the idea of coloring. Are you ready? It turned out amazing. And then I did the front too. Are you ready for this? Look at how beautiful that is. So I colored the roof and the trees, but I let it dry in between the snow lady and the trees. Do you love it? Now, I probably colored each of those 3 times. So colored the whole layer, set it aside to dry, came back and colored, set it aside to dry, came back and colored. That's how I achieved that look. Okay, and don't worry, I'll put this on Facebook for you to see as well. Okay, so we're almost done. I want to bring back my Stamparatus because I want to do words and then one final piece. We're going to use the chalk marker on this too. Isn't this lovely? I can't wait. When the pictures are going to show it better, I think. Sometimes it's hard with that Wink of Stella. I get so excited to show you guys the Wink of Stella, and I don't feel like it comes through on the video as much as I would like it to. All right, we are going to use the Memento Black, and we're going to put a little beautiful saying like this Happy Christmas. I thought that was really cute. Now, on this one, I probably did it like 5 times. I was like seriously wanting it to really, really pop up off of that sky. So again, the beauty is You can, because you have your Happy Stamparatus. Okay. And it'll start to show through. Okay, you can see it. You're seeing it come through. But I probably did it, yeah, like 4 or 5 times because I really, really wanted it to pop up off of that page. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's looking nice. One more and we'll call it done. And then we're going to do one more really cool effect, and I'll just make it look like little stars. Okay, there we go. I'm going to call that done for the day. I'm actually going to move this so that I can just have this sitting out so you can see this last effect. Okay, so then we're going to take that chalk marker. We've colored in our beautiful sky. See, oh, see, you can see it when I turn it up. We're going to take that chalk marker and we're going to make it look like stars. I literally, snow, not stars. Ooh. Snow falling. And then I kind of did the same thing with this. Oh no, you start to see the effect. I let it dry, then I kind of went back and did more snow. So I'm going to pull this out because this one's completely dry. Ta-da! You got your snow falling, and each one looks different. See, like this is a little more a different color than I was, a little darker on this one. They're all beautiful. None of them are going to be the same because you because you're individually coloring things. And so there you have your first one, right? We've got our lovely money holder in there, so that's your gift idea. And then I'll show you the one that's done. We have the old world card done. Oh, beautiful. What do you think? Decking the halls for Christmas. I did post some pictures. I am going to post gingerbread. I had talked about doing it. We're actually going to do gingerbread this Saturday. And I'll show you pictures. I got a little sad, I'm not going to lie, and I was struggling a little bit, but I'll go through the pictures. I haven't pulled that book out in 5 years, so I will do it, I promise, so you can see some more pictures. Just having a moment, feeling a little bit sad. But decorated, I posted those pictures too, so I'll be excited to see what you think of those. And I'd love to hear what you think of these two effects. I love them. And I'd love to see if you guys tried the Slimline card, because I really like that too. Okay, my friends, first week of December, deck the hall. Super, super excited to share with you and excited to hear your traditions. So please hop on to YouTube and tell me, or on Facebook, feel free to share what you're doing and what are you doing to make the world a better place, my friends. This is a time of giving, always. December is always a time of giving, but all through the year, it is great to keep the heart of Christmas with us, isn't it? And to make the world a better place. So until I see you next week. Oh, and did you notice you have to look at the thumbnail that says Deck the Halls, because my husband made that for me today. It is the cutest. I'm in a snow globe with a snowman. There you go. There's the beauty of that. All right, my friends, until I see you next week, I bid you adieu.